Hey everybody, it's Josie with Ozark Mountain Goats, and I am in the kitchen this morning because I've been out of spicy chili beans for quite a while now, and I like to pressure can my own. I used to buy Brook's Chili Hot Beans all the time because that's what I use in my chili recipe. And then I stumbled across a recipe that's one of those copycat look-alike recipes, and so I've been using that for a whole bunch of years now, and they smell and taste just like Brook's Chili Hot Beans, to me anyway. So that's what we're doing today. So anyway, I'm going to quickly run through the ingredients that you're going to need to do this recipe, and then we'll get started. Right here, I'm going to double this recipe. So the recipe that I list in the description below will be for a single batch, which does 8 pints. So today I'm going to do 16 pints. And I have 4 pounds of pinto beans. You can use whatever kind of bean you want, whether that's kidney beans or whatever. Anyhow, I just like the pinto beans, so that's what I'm using. I've also got paprika, chili powder, cumin, garlic powder, cayenne pepper, sea salt, coriander, crushed red pepper, oregano, and black pepper. Also, I've got some canning salt. So anyway, the first thing you're going to need to do is mix up all of your ingredients, and then it'll be divided equally between each jar. Okay, I've got my recipe here, and again, this is a double batch for me. So I have got 4 tablespoons of chili powder, 4 teaspoons of ground cumin, 4 tablespoons of paprika, 2 teaspoons of black pepper, 2 tablespoons of ground coriander, and the rest of it I ran out of little containers, so it's all in here. I've got 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of crushed red pepper, 2 tablespoons of sea salt, and 2 tablespoons of dried oregano. So that all goes in here. Next, you just need to mix that up really well. What you're going to do is divide it evenly for each pint jar. And I like to use the wide mouth pint jars just because I think it's easier to, once the beans are processed and you go to open a jar and use them, it's just easier to get the beans out of a wide mouth jar. So you want to mix that up really well. It smells really good. So as I said, I put these spicy beans in chili when I make it. And it's kind of funny that depending on what area of the country you live in, you may or may not put beans in your chili. I know that it's a sin, I think, if you live in Texas or maybe even the Southwest, I don't know. But I'm from Indiana, and I know we always put beans in our chili. And I had my career in Illinois, and they also, it seems like, put beans in their chili. So let me know where you're from. Leave it in the comments below. Are you from a place that uses beans in your chili? Are you from the Southwest, and is that taboo for you guys? Anyway, it'd be interesting to know. So once you've got that mixed up, then you're going to just evenly divide it into your canning jars. Okay, before I add my ingredients, I'm going to put a ½ teaspoon of canning salt in each jar. Okay, next you're going to put 1 tablespoon of your spice mixture into each pint jar. Next comes the beans, and if you've got a wide mouth funnel, this makes it much easier. This calls for ½ cup of dried beans, and I did wash these off first. Sometimes they're usually very dirty, and also there might be little rocks or pieces of gravel in them. So rinse your beans. For those of you who are new to pressure canning, this is probably one of the easiest things that you can do as a beginner, is to pressure can beans, I think anyway. Okay, each jar has 1/2 cup of dried pinto beans in it. Next comes hot water, and I fill my jars to about that first ring, which gives you approximately an inch of headspace. All right, now just take a clean paper towel and wipe each jar. You want to make sure when you add your lids that you get a good seal. And next comes the lids. And these need to be washed in soap and water, or I just put mine in a little saucepan and bring them to a boil. If I didn't mention, your jars are going to be pressure cans, so they don't have to be sterile, but they do need to be clean. Okay, next comes your rings, and they need to be fingertip tight. Next step is to get them in the pressure canner. I happen to use an All-American canner, and it will hold 18 pint jars. So I've got 16 here, so it shouldn't be any problem. But be sure and follow the manufacturer instructions on your pressure canner. For my elevation, these are going to process 75 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure. I've got a spacer that I'm going to put in between the two levels of jars. Okay, your pressure canner should have a vent on it, and you're going to need to let that vent for 10 minutes. You'll see steam coming out. Let that go for 10 minutes before you put your jiggler on. Okay, you might not be able to see it, but there is steam escaping from my vent, so I've got my timer set to 10 minutes. Okay, aren't those pretty? 16 pints of spicy pinto beans that are going to be perfect to put in chili. So I did not use the entire amount of that 4-pound bag of beans. I've actually got enough to do 8 more pints. So I'm going to do that, and that will give me a total of 24 pints, which will last me every bit of a year, if not a year and a half or so, depending on how often I make my chili. But if you use spicy beans on a regular basis, or you need something like that to put in your chili, give this recipe a try. They're really good. They taste to me just like Brook's Chili Hot Beans. So it's a great way to add to your food storage, and that's just one more thing that I don't have to be dependent on the grocery store for. So thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate it. Be sure and hit that like button, subscribe, and as always, we'll catch you later.